Hey, what's going on, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here, bringing you this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. We're getting towards the end of September, weather's starting to cool off, and the bass are starting to move up shallow again. So getting rid of that summertime heat and finally, get some fishing to finally pick back up again. So today we got a whole new actually a few new series of rods from Fenwick. So Fenwick totally redesigned a bunch of their series of rods from the ground up. They're using totally new materials, using new mandrels, new actions, totally revamped a bunch of different series of rods. The first one here is their Eagle series. So these come in at 99 bucks. Any size in the whole lineup, they're all 99 bucks. It's a great deal on this series of rods. So they do have casting, cranking, spinning, and they have casting two-piece rods, two-piece spinning rods. So, I mean, they got pretty much a model in there that could cover pretty much any situation. Starting with the blanks, they're using a blended graphite blank. So they're using multiple, multiple styles of graphite, so 24-ton and 30-ton mixed in there. Up on the guides, they're using stainless steel guide frames with zirconia inserts. And man, the finishes on these rods are phenomenal. Really classic look to them. On the wraps up here, they have like a forest green color wrap to them, a little bit of silver thread. Really sharp looking rods. Up on the grips, they're using cork grips, and then these custom reel seats. They're soft touch reel seats, but as you can see, they have a ton of blank exposure on the back of them. So when you have this rod in your hand, you're going to get maximum blank exposure. So really increase that sensitivity, and they're super comfortable. Awesome series of rods, the new Eagle series. And then when you want to step up in price point from that, you can go to the HMG lineup. So the HMG, same thing. They got a rod in here, pretty much covers any situation, down from 6.6 casting rods, spinning rods, big flipping sticks, cranking rods, whatever you would need. Again, that classic Fenwick look that everyone loves, this one kind of has, it's almost a charcoal to almost a brown tint to it. Really sharp looking rods. Again, that old school classic looking Fenwick style rod. Nothing crazy bright or anything like that, but now made out of, updated, more modern materials. This one, again, a blended graphite blank, but these ones a little bit lighter, a little bit more crisp. On the guides on these ones, they're actually going to a titanium guide frame, so that's going to help, decrease that weight overall across the blank, improve the balance, increase your sensitivity a little bit. But same thing with the cork handles on these ones. You actually have a dual material cork on here, so you kind of have that pressed cork and then regular style cork on there, so it really looks cool. And again, those big, soft touch reel seats with the maximum blank exposed on the back, so really increase that sensitivity. On the HMG series, they run anywhere from about 139 bucks up to 159 or 169, depending on the size and action you're looking at. So awesome series of rods there by Fenwick. Make sure you check out that whole lineup over at tacklewarehouse.com. Next up from Daiwa, we got a bunch of new SP minnows, or Salt Pro minnows. These are not really new baits, but they are new to Tackle Warehouse, so we're super stoked to get these in. We have them in a bunch of different sizes. This is the biggest one. I believe this is a 6.7 inch size, and then we have I believe this one's 5.9 or 6.1. Then we have a normal 5-inch size. These are really cool baits, especially if you're doing, they're really geared towards inshore fishing. So if you're doing some inshore saltwater fishing or you're doing some surf fishing, there's some guys in the office that have been taking these out and catching a bunch of really good stripers on these out in the surf. One thing that stands out with this series of minnows is the weight transfer system. So if you can hear it, I mean, it's a significant weight transfer system in there. And when you hook one of these up to a 9-10 foot surf rod, they fly through the air and you get phenomenal casting distances. There's a bunch of different sizes, and you can get floating models or sinking models. So if you want to run a little bit higher in the water column, you get a floating one. If you want to go a little deeper, you can get a slow sink one. Really work it down along kelp lines and drops and stuff like that. A bunch of really cool colors, and then beefed up hardware, saltwater treble hooks, heavy duty split rings made to tackle those bigger fish. So if you're looking for some inshore baits and some surf casting baits, new Salt Pro minnows there from Daiwa. Finally got them in here at Tackle Warehouse. Something else for the saltwater from Strike King. So Strike King came out with a saltwater version of their Rage Swimmer. This is a super popular bait. I mean, that proven Rage Swimmer design with those reversed ribs on there, it pushes a ton of water. And that boot tail, we all know how good this style of swim bait works. The profile of it, the action, they work on so many great techniques. You know, you can throw them on the back of a jig, you can throw them on a jig head, you can rig them weedless and fish through grass, no matter what you want. But now Striking is offering a saltwater version of these that really has those brighter, more vibrant colors that are geared for, you know, if you're fishing in the Gulf or maybe down in the Keys, down in Southern California, you know, fishing for calicos or spotted bay bass, anything like that. Now you have some more colors that are brighter and really geared towards that saltwater environment. So really cool. Striking has a new Rage Wimmer saltwater edition in those colors for the saltwater anglers. A couple more soft plastics here. First one here, or actually they're both from Big Bite. The first one is their new straight mag finesse worm. You know, straight tail worm, but magnum size. So Big Bite Baits has never really had, you know, a true magnum size finesse worm. So straight tail worm, just like you would get, you know, standard finesse worm, but now that beefed up profile. So now you can have kind of a finesse presentation in that bigger profile. What's great about this worm, it does have the flat bottom on it, so it is really easy to rig. And that flat bottom also helps this worm glide a little bit. So, you know, you can fish it on like your mag Shaky Head, Texas rig, my favorite, you know, big Carolina rig, and that worm's gonna glide through the water. And with that bulbous tail on there, just have, you know, nice quivering action. And then, you know, when the fishing's slow, but you still want to have a big profile to really trigger those bigger bites, this is a great option for you. These are loaded with the bite juice and salt. You can probably see how much salt is on the outside of this bait and in the package. So when fish bite them, they are going to hang on. And of course, in a ton of the great Big Bite colors. The next one from Big Bite, one that I'm pretty pumped about. This is the new Sensation Stick. So Big Bite came out with that Sensation formula a few years ago, and now they're making their best-selling bait, the Trick Stick. They're making that shape in the Sensation formula. And when I opened up that package, they are not messing around with how much scent and whatever they're infusing into this soft plastic. You open it up and it is potent. I can promise you that. And then, you know, that standard 5-inch stick bait is great for so many techniques, probably the best fish catching shape of all time. Wacky rig it, Shaky Head, weightless Texas rig, weighted Texas rig, Carolina rig, you know, Shaky Head, whatever you want to do. You can do just about anything with a soft stick bait, 5-inch stick bait, and it catches tons of fish, everything from 1-pounders, and plenty of 10-pounders have been caught on a 5-inch stick bait. But now Big Bite's giving you that same profile and that great action in the Sensation formula. It's going to be great for those times when it's really tough, and there's a ton of anglers out there just giving you that extra edge against, you know, some of the other soft stick baits out there. Going to have a big scent field and just help you trigger a few more bites. So now we got a bunch of stuff from Bizz Baits. So you know, we're going to have Bizz Baits on 2 episodes. We could probably run a few episodes on Bizz Baits if we wanted to, with all the new stuff that we just got. So make sure you head over to the website and check it all out. We couldn't get it all, but we wanted to hit on a few of them. This first one is our swim jig. The jigs that Bizz Baits are making are really high quality jigs, and when you check them out, I mean, the components and everything that they're going into these, I mean, you're getting a phenomenal deal on a really premium jig. So starting with the head shape, it is really narrow and it's nicely angled. It does have a rounded bottom on it, and so they've balanced this thing so that it'll run straight, but also come over grass and through cover really, really well. That's always been a problem. You know, you can have a jig that runs great. It runs great, but it doesn't always, you know, go over hardcover real well. I mean, they say they've got it nailed down with being able to do all of that. So I'm super excited to try this out. One thing I like about it is the super durable powder coatings they put on there, and then those big 3D eyes, and also the skirts. They're hand tied and they're tied with wire, so that's never going to fall off and it's never going to rip apart on you. That skirt's always going to be on there. Gamakatsu hook, you know, one of the best hooks you can ever put in a jig. Nice keeper on there. You know, they got the nice weed guard. It's at the right angle. It's not too stiff. It's not too thin. So overall, really cool swim jig there from Bizz Baits. And the next one is their football jig. Again, you know, the components and all the work they did with this jig, it's a really sweet jig. So football jig, it's got kind of some nice scalloping in there. So it's got a nice shape to it, but got the recessed line tie, so it gets it nice tucked in there, helps protect that knot. With the hand-tied skirt, Gamakatsu hook, you know, nice keeper on there, coming in at, I believe, $549. So when you look at jigs across the market, you know, for $549, where you're getting the premium hand-tied skirt, the really nice Gamakatsu hook, nice head design, really strong powder coating, really sweet jigs there by Bizz Baits. The next two is their straight up Ned Head and then straight up Shaky Head. So the Ned Head kind of has a unique shape to it. Versus, most of the Ned Heads out there are just kind of like a pill shape or a block shape. They've kind of went with this modified tier shape. So it helps spread some of the weight out down to the bottom and makes a bigger head, larger surface area down there on the bottom. So it really helps those Ned Heads stand up, and maybe those in that terrain where maybe it's not perfectly flat, a little bit uneven, you're gonna have a higher chance of that head landing straight down on the bottom and keeping that trailer pointed straight up in the air. Super sharp hook, nice wire keeper on there, really great Ned Head. The next one is their straight up Shaky Head. Again, kind of a modified shape, really increases that surface area on the bottom and keeps those things pointed straight up in the air. And they got a screw lock keeper on there and super sharp Gamakatsu hook, with that screw lock on there. It's super easy to rig these things up. And, right now it could be a great time to kind of bust out the Finesse stuff when fish are still a little bit finicky, they've been pressured all summer, and they're just not in the mood yet to bite. The Shaky Head is always a deadly option, and kind of goes against the grain when everyone's throwing a drop shot. Shaky Head usually tends to be the deal. From Greenfish, we got a new umbrella rig. This is the new G-Wagon rig. I really like this umbrella rig. So it's made out of a little bit lighter wire, so you're gonna get a lot of flex on it. And the umbrella rig bite is gonna be red hot coming up here anytime. Depending on where you're at in the country, if it's cooling off, if the shatter already moving to the back of the pockets, this is what you wanna have right now. And this is a little bit smaller profile rig, and it's got the nice willow blades on there. And this is gonna be the time when you wanna outfit one of these with those smaller swim baits on there, because you typically this time of the year the bait is a little bit smaller, and these small A-rigs with small blades on them with small swim baits on them tend to really shine this time of the year. So this might be something you want to pick up and throw. I mean, there's top quality components, high quality swivels. I really like the way they did the shrink tube on here instead of putting a big plastic head or something. There's an embedded swivel, so you're going to get no problem with fish twisting and twisting up your line and stuff like that. Really high quality umbrella rig if you're looking for a new rig for this upcoming season. Last up, we have a Tackle Warehouse product. So we have the new Tackle Warehouse neoprene fish finder covers. So this is something one of our buyers has been working on for quite a while, and we're super stoked to finally get these in. So we got them in 3 sizes, and they pretty much cover 90% of the graphs out there, depending on the size that you have. So, everything down from like 7-inch graphs all the way up to the 13 to 15-inch graphs, depending on the models. These are really cool, that really nice heavy-duty neoprene. And the way it wraps around the back of your graph, and then you have a cinch cord to tighten these down. So you don't have to worry about these things flying off when you're on the highway. I don't know how many, how many people I know that those graph covers have flown off on the highway somewhere, and they got to get a replacement from the factory or something like that. Now we have Tackle Warehouse neoprene fish finder covers, and that soft neoprene really going to help protect those screens and protect those expensive investments. Also, we run a promo on these, so there's a huge page of qualifying fish finders. So if you buy a qualifying fish finder, you're going to get a free Tackle Warehouse neoprene fish finder cover with your purchase. So awesome deal. So if you're looking for a new graph, we're going to throw in a neoprene cover for it as well. So that's going to wrap up today's episode of What's New with Tackle Warehouse. For more information or to purchase any of the products seen here today, click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.